Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial would be discussed in this session. Let's get started with today's topic list. Today is 23rd of November. The first topic is no evidence to back the need for booster shots. Second, unpredictable norms, the key impediment in the bilateral trade between India and United States. Third, Australia signed sub-deal with UK and US. The second last is sector allow exporters time for origin of e-certificates. And the last is an editorial reform the fertilizer sector. So just to remind you, the news that we are discussing today, each and every news is from the Hindu itself. Apart from this, we'll have some MCQ based questions. These questions would be based on current affairs that will help you in the upcoming prelims examination. So let's get started. And those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, do not forget to give a thumbs up. So starting with the first news, that is no evidence to back the need for booster shots. This news is important for General Studies Paper 2, issues related to development and management of health. And this particular statement is coming from the ICMR chief. We'll see the detail of this news. So first, according to the ICMR Director-General, DG, he has said there's no scientific evidence so far to support the need for booster vaccine against the COVID-19 vaccine. We have seen many Western countries like United States, even Germany has started the booster shots. But considering the fact for Indian population, still there's no study that backs कि India में booster shots लाने की जरूरत है. And instead, the Director General said that the completions of second dose of the adult population is our priority. Definitely, it should be the priority of government. Although vaccination India में काफी speed pace से चल रही है, but जो second dose की vaccinations है वो अभी भी काफी slow है. According to the sources, the booster dose issues is likely to be discussed in the next meeting with the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization in India, जिसको NTAGI के नाम से भी जाना जाता है. This is the expert group upon which the decision relies, and they are the final authority to decide upon. Now, the जो ICMR के Director Generals हैं, basically, if you see the vaccination status in India, talking about the precise status of the vaccination in the country, official figure ये है कि 82% of the eligible population in India have received the first dose of the vaccines, right? And only 43% of the population has been fully vaccinated or inoculated. Now, the total number of vaccines doses is administered in the country is almost 116 crores. Although this is a good number, we very soon would be reaching first dose of the vaccination to the entire population within a month or month and a half. उसके अलावा अगर बात करें जो ये जो सारी डिटेल्स हैं, दिस इज फॉर द 22nd of November, दैट इज बाय yesterday, राइट? सो दिस इज अ वैक्सीनेशन स्टेटस इन आवर कंट्री. हर घर दस्तक कैंपेन, this is what the government of India has started. Under this initiative, the government has launched a month-long Har Ghar Dastak. That means every individual would be reaching house-to-house vaccination process. They would be identifying the people who are actually not vaccinated, right? So this would take an advantage. जिन लोगों ने vaccination ली है first dose की, उनको vaccine मिले, and those people who haven't got the second dose of the vaccine and that is overdue would get their vaccine in their home itself. So it's a kind of mobile vaccination campaign. And according to the officials, over 12 crore beneficiaries are overdue for their second dose. As we know, second dose की अभी भी जो percentage है comparatively काफी कम है first dose से. And the expiry of the prescribed interval between the two doses, and many of people, those people who are actually not aware, उनको ऐसा लग रहा है कि first dose के बाद उनको second dose लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. So we need to make people aware that whatever vaccine you have taken, you need to take the second vaccine at the right interval of that particular vaccine concern. Now, unpredictable norms are the key impediments to the bilateral trade between India and US. This is what the statement coming from the US Trade Representative. She was there in visit to India. Important for General Studies Paper 2, bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India's and affecting India's interest. So the United States Trade Representative, they are in the visit, their visit for 2 days in India, and she said that the huge potential. No, by she I mean the Director General name is Catherine Tai, right? So this name is not important. Sometime it can be asked in examination. Mostly in UPSC, they don't ask you any examination. So what did the USTR representative say? They said that there is a huge potential for the growth between India and United States. किस किस सेक्टर में ग्रोथ करने की पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं? That include digital economy, services, health and health related issues and even the agriculture. So ये core areas हैं. अगर आप डिटेल में इंडिया और यूएस की bilateral रिलेशनशिप, इवन ट्रेड रिलेशनशिप की बात करते हैं, so these would be area that you need to highlight upon. Now, some of the problems, some of the hurdles, some of the concern that was raised in the bilateral trade. So the trade representative have flagged some issues regarding high tariff, market access of restrictions as a key impediment to the bilateral trade. So ये दो सबसे important factor है. पहली तो एक है unpredictable regulatory norms, जो कि इंडिया कहना है दूसरे ट्रेड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का. उसके बाद हाई टेरिफ्स जो इंडिया ने रखी हुई है एंड मार्केट एक्सेस रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. तो कंपाइल करेगा तो ये ऑलमोस्ट 3 प्रॉब्लम्स है दैट हैज बीन हाईलाइटेड. Now, she emphasized on America's continued interest on agriculture access, conveyed the work-centric policies, and pivoted for the U.S. administration to approach the trade policy. And this is a fact that after the Joe Biden has taken the administration, he's looking for a healthy relationship with each and every country, be it China, be it India. They are looking forward कि हर एक कंट्री की म्यूचुअल स्ट्रेंथनिंग हो एंड एट द सेम टाइम जो बेनिफिशरीज है वो दोनों कंट्री हो, किसी एक कंट्री को इसका बेनिफिट ना मिले. सो इन लाइट ऑफ दिस ओनली आई गेस दे आर वर्किंग टुवर्ड द वर्क सेंटरिंग अप्रोच विद इंडिया एज वेल. Now, some common challenges between India and United States. So, India and US face share challenges like climate change, which is again something very important. अभी recent में जो COP26 की मीटिंग हुई है ग्लासगो में, वहाँ पे दोनों कंट्रीज ने अपने डेडिकेटेड कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन दिखाने की बात की है. इवन सस्टेनेबिलिटी, वर्नेबिलिटी, सप्लाई चेन, प्रमोटिंग the market oriented principle and structure are pivotal for both these countries. And these are areas that ripe for the closer cooperations between India and United States. तो ये कुछ ऐसे issues हैं जो दोनों countries को और एक साथ लाती है. Now the USTR said that the US is committed to ensure a robust and sustainable trade partnership with India. So अगर आपसे ट्रेड पार्टनरशिप की बात की जाए, उसके एक फ्यूचर रोड मैप की बात की जाए मेंस के एग्जामिनेशन में, so this is how you need to incorporate some of the important points. Now, Australia signed sub deal with UK and UK. बेसिकली और ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बात करें, वो अपने नेवल कैपेबिलिटीज को इम्प्रूव करना चाहती है एंड दे वांट टू स्ट्रेंथन इट. सो इन लाइट ऑफ दैट दे हैविंग अ पार्टनरशिप विद यूके एंड यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. सो इफेक्ट ऑफ पॉलिसीज एंड पॉलिटिक्स फॉर डेवलप्ड एंड डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज. सो विद अ न्यूली फॉर्म्ड डिफेंस अलाइंसेस ब्रिटेन के साथ या फिर यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स के साथ, ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने फॉर्मली ये कहा है कि उनके नेवल फोर्सेस या फिर जो न्यूक्लियर सबमरीन्स हैं वो कम्पिटिटिव होने की ज़रूरत है कंपेयर टू एनी अदर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज. सो एक फर्स्ट जनरेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की बात करें विच ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज लुकिंग फॉर एन अपग्रेडेशंस. तो उन्होंने कहा है 3 कंट्रीज हैव अनाउंस्ड इन सितंबर द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ डिफेंस अलायंस, जिसको ऑकस के नाम से जाना जाता है. And there's a confront tensions between basically what was the rationale behind the AUKUS. जो इंडो पैसिफिक में चाइना की डोमिनेंस है उसको कम करने के लिए ये फॉर्मेशन की गई, सो दैट these country can create a pressure on China that it should not dominate in that specific region, right? और ऑकस के अंदर जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया है that would also obtain 8 state of art nuclear power submarine, right? बट कन्वेंशनली अगर देखें जो आर्म्ड सबमरीन है दैट इज ऑल्सो कैपेबल ऑफ स्टेल्थी लॉन्ग रेंज मिशन. बट ऑस्ट्रेलिया हैज कैटेगोरिकली सेड दैट दे वुड बी लुकिंग फॉर अ न्यूक्लियर पावर्ड सबमरीन्स, एंड इवन द यूएस and the UK have committed that they would be providing this supports to Australia. Now, center allow exporters time for origin of e-certificate. This is important to ensure जो exports हैं वो इंडिया में बढ़े and जो impediments थी, जो problems थी exporters की, उसको solve किया जाए. So this is important for General Studies paper 2, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors. So एक लेटेस्ट नोटिस रिलीज की गई है बाय डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड दे हैव सेड दैट द ट्रांजिशन पीरियड फॉर द मैंडेटरी फाइलिंग ऑफ एप्लीकेशंस ऑफ द नॉन प्रेफरेंशियल सर्टिफिकेट, दिस इज आल्सो नोन एज एनपीसी, और या फिर इसको ऑफ ओरिजिन बोल सकते हो, जिसको ईसीओपी प्लेटफॉर्म कही जाती है, ये एक्सटेंड कर दी गई है बाय 31st ऑफ जनवरी 2022. इसकी डेट दिसंबर या नवंबर के आसपास रखी गई थी, विच हैज बीन एक्सटेंडेड फॉर 1.5 months. Now, online CEO की बात करें, this is in place in late 2019 for export to the countries, जहाँ पे इंडिया ने प्रेफरेंशियल ट्रेड पैक्ट को साइन किया था and it was expanding its merchandise exports from November, and it has issued a trade notice on October 2000, basically 18 October 2021. Now, several exporters ने ये देखा कि that states have reported difficulties in registering ECO के प्लेटफॉर्म्स जो हैं डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड DGFT के अंदर जो आती है, इन पोर्टल्स में प्रॉब्लम आई, एंड दैट इज अ रीजन बीइंग दे आर ट्राइंग टू इंक्लूड सम स्टिपुलेटेड हाई क्वालिटी सिग्नेचर्स उसमें अपलोड करनी होती है, दैट वाज क्रिएटिंग अ प्रॉब्लम, एंड द रीजन बीइंग द गवर्नमेंट इज लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड विद द रिजोल्यूशन एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल. Now, the department with the overseas DGFT, that is Director General of Foreign Trade, has now requested exporter to register into the platform as early as possible because they have revamped and improved that particular portal. Earlier this month, when online certificates were mandatory, the department has downplayed the exporter concern that was moved to improving the ease of doing business. As you know, Government of India ने already target रखी हुई है ease of doing business में काफ़ी अच्छी रैंकिंग लाने की. So ये efforts आप उसमें ही जोड़ के देख सकते हो that when it comes to ease of doing business, everything has to go in a smooth and fashionable manner. Now, the other news basically is an editorial reforming the fertilizer sector, something which is very important for your general studies paper 2 as well as general studies paper 3, जहाँ पे farms sectors related issues हैं general studies paper 3 में, वहाँ काफ़ी important है. उसके अलावे government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors. So under this editorial, we'll see some important subheads. The 4 important subheads would include increase in subsidy, environmental concern, demand shortfall, and way forward. अब पूरी एडिटोरियल की थीम है फर्टिलाइजर सेक्टर्स में क्या क्या रिफॉर्म की जरूरत, नो हाउ द फर्टिलाइजर सेक्टर्स कैन बी रिफॉर्म्ड. Now, since 1991, when economy reform began in India, several attempts have been made to make the fertilizer sector on check. Government ने हर बार intervene किया है so that the fertilizer sector has to be, in such a manner, aligned in such a manner that it is ultimately benefiting the farmers, right? So इसी कंसर्न में सब्सिडी बिल लाई गई और कोशिश ये की गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से टू प्रमोट efficiency in the use of fertilizer, especially the NPK, also known as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and reduce the water and air pollution by fertilizers like urea. So these were the environmental concern also, which has plunged government to take some important actions. So what has changed? How the subsidy was increased in light of this? So economic survey 1991-1992, आप कुछ पीछे जाकर के इसको देख सकते हैं. They have noted that fertilizer prices remain unchanged from July 1980 to 1981. तो ये पूरे 10 साल की बात की गई थी कि उस समय प्राइजेस अच्छे नहीं थे, इवन द सब्सिडी वाज नॉट एडिक्वेट. So Union Budget 1999, they have raised the price of fertilizers by 40% on an average, right? और इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ने फर्दर ये नोट किया कि विद दिस इंक्रीज द फर्टिलाइजर सब्सिडी रिमेन्स सब्सटैंशियली एंड नीडेड टू बी फर्दर रिड्यूस. उसको और कम करने की जरूरत पड़ी, ऐसा उस टाइम पे देखा गया था. बट बहुत सारे इन्वायरमेंटल कंसर्न्स आए जब आपने सब्सिडी ज़्यादा दी, गवर्नमेंट ने सब्सिडी जब ज़्यादा दी. सो व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड दैट पीपल स्टार्टेड यूजिंग the quantity of fertilizer in a huge quantity, which has ultimately led to many environmental and soil related concerns. So the concern were about the adverse environmental impact on certain chemical fertilizers. Some section of society suggest करती है कि जो organic fertilizers हैं और bio fertilizers हैं, गवर्नमेंट को उनको प्रमोट करनी चाहिए, ना कि ऐसे fertilizers को. Now, there's a growing demand to provide subsidies and other incentives to organic fertilizers, biofertilizers, and those providing for the chemical fertilizers. The government has introduced the nutrient-based subsidy 2010 to address the growing imbalances and fertilizers in many states. Now, demand की shortfall हुई again after the uses we see in India there's a again demand shortfall which is arising in our country. So total demand यूरिया की अगर बात करें कंट्री में, that is around 34 to 35 million tons है, whereas domestically इंडिया में कितनी प्रोड्यूस होती है, only 25 million tons. Requirement for अगर बात करें DAP की, डाई अमोनियम फास्फेट, it is required 12 million ton, but domestic production सिर्फ 5 million ton की है. So you can see the shortfall which is there. Now, this leaves the gap of nearly 9 to 10 million ton for urea and 7 to million ton of DAP, which is made through the import. So, ये सारी चीजें इंडिया import करती है दूसरे countries से. Now, what should be the way forward for this particular concern regarding the, you can say the subsidies in terms of the fertilizers? तो किस तरह से रिफॉर्म की जरूरत है, क्या और इंपॉर्टेंट चेंजेस की जा सकती है वे फॉरवर्ड में जो आप लिख सकते हैं. सो इन ऑर्डर टू एड्रेस द मल्टीपल गोल्स ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर्स पॉलिसी, देयर इज अ नीड टू साइमल्टेनियसली वर्क ऑन द 4 कीज एरिया. ये जो 4 कीज एरिया मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके मेंस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए. सो मेक श्योर यू अंडरस्टैंड ईच ऑफ दिस 4 पॉइंट. The first and foremost step is to be self-reliant and not dependent on import of the fertilizers, right? Although how we can meet जो mismatch है उसको meet करने की जरूरत पड़ेगी क्योंकि उतनी ज़रूरतें हैं इंडिया के पास. So definitely in any case we have to meet, and that requirement can be met once we have a self-reliance and policy that is helping the manufacturing industries of the fertilizers. Second, there is a need to extend the NBS model of urea and allow the price rationalization in the urea compared to the non-nitrogenous fertilizers price of the crops. Third, there is a need to develop the alternative sources of nutrition plant, and this provide for the scope of large use of biomass crops that go wasted and enhance the value of livestock byproducts. तो हमें livestock के byproducts भी मिल सकते हैं if you have the alternative source of nutrition for plant based. Now, finally, what best can be done, that India should pay attention in improving the fertilizer efficacies through a need-based rather than a broadcasting fertilizer in the field. और recently, जो nano urea IFCO ने release की है, that is showing a promising result in reducing the wastage of, in reducing the uses of urea. तो यूरिया की uses भी कम हुई है by using the nano urea. These changes will long way enhance the productivity of agriculture, mitigating climate changes, providing alternative to the chemical fertilizers. तो 3-4 एस्पेक्ट्स पे काम करेंगी. पहली तो जो प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर है उसको इंक्रीज करना. सेकेंड, मिटिगेटिंग द क्लाइमेट चेंजेस बिकॉज वी हैव एडहेरेंस टू मेनी अदर इंटरनेशनल ऑब्लिगेशंस दैट वी हैव टू मेट, एंड प्रोवाइडिंग एन अल्टरनेटिव टू द केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स, राइट. तो ये कुछ बेसिक मेजर एडवांटेजेस होंगे इस तरह के एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी ऑफ फर्टिलाइजर्स को यूज करने के. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question also, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ, Ambedkar Social Innovation Incubation Centers के बारे में आपको बताना है. It aimed to boost the entrepreneurials and innovations among the ST student and SC Divyanjans, and the mission is under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So what you have to do, you have to choose the correct option and write that in the comment section down below. Now the second is regarding the Toropex 21. The exercise is being conducted in the Pacific Ocean region, and this is bilateral theater level operation for readiness exercises. So if you know the correct answer, do let me know in the comment section down below. So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQs. If you have any other concern, you can write to us. You can let me know in the comment section down below. Be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.